Good morning, YouTube. I hope you had a wonderful week with your students. This week, I wanted to be a little bit more transparent with you and show you how I prep a lab for my kids. Now, lab prep is something that I really didn't have any idea about, especially when I was a new teacher. I relied heavily on my mentor and my in-class support teacher at the time to help me out to kind of know what I needed and how to set things out for the students. There is a lab video that I made for you, I would say probably earlier on in the school year, giving you a tour of like what I have in my lab stations. But the lab that we're doing actually doesn't use a whole lot of that equipment. Instead, there's a lot of equipment that I need to put out for the students because the lab that we're doing is a titration this week. So this lab is pretty involved. It's pretty involved for me because obviously I need to make some solutions. I need to set out the burettes and all that stuff. But then obviously it's very intense for the students as well because they've never used a lot of this equipment before. So first, what I thought I could do was show you what the lab actually looks like, and then we can talk more about the lab prep and the prep work that's involved with actually setting things out for the kids. This is our lab on titrations, and so you can see pretty much every lab has some background information, and I include some purpose. We'll talk obviously about safety. These are things that I'll talk about in our pre-lab discussion as a class when they come in tomorrow. As we come down, they will have a really good idea of what the procedure is, and the reason why is because I assigned a pre-lab video. So the pre-lab video is to help the students feel prepared to complete the lab. And so one of the things that I asked the students to focus on was, how do you prep your burettes to perform the titration? And what is the chemist in the video actually doing in order to perform the titration? So you may say, like, is it you? Did you make the video? And the answer is no. Actually, the video is very wonderfully put together. I want to say it's a video by Carolina, but what I'll do is I'll link it down below, so if you want to use it with your kids, you can. I did put it inside an Edpuzzle so that the students can go through and they can answer questions about the procedure. And I told the students, look, you have to be prepared for this because we only have the double period to do this. So you have to make sure you know what you're doing, or you're quite simply going to run out of time. And that's really just the natural consequence of not being prepared. So that pre-lab video was assigned. They'll come into class, grab a copy of the lab handout, and then we'll talk about them constructing a data table. They can construct the data table in Google Sheets if they want, or they can construct it on a piece of paper. That's really up to them. And then finally, I do give them space to actually calculate their concentration of acid. Really, that's the goal. So they have a standardized solution of sodium hydroxide. It's a 0.1 molar solution, and then they're going to use that information to calculate the concentration of an unknown sulfuric acid solution. So that's pretty much the lab overview. So now what I thought I would do is show you how I'm prepping the lab area. Now keep in mind, I do have 2 more classes for today, so I can't kind of move everything, but I can at least grab the equipment and stuff that I need. I will show you where I get my burettes and how I store them. I'll also show you some of the other things that I'm putting out for the students. In my classroom, I don't have a whole lot of wall space, but on the wall space that I do have, I have a burette rack. So this is where I store all my burettes when they're not in use. I use them, I would say, probably about 3 times a year with students. No, maybe 4 times a year. So usually I use them twice with honors, like once in the beginning of the year and then now. And then I also use it with AP earlier on in the school year. And then when we come back and we do chapter 15 on acid-base equilibria. So I use them about 4 times a year. So I like to put them in a place that obviously I can access them. And I don't like to just store them in a drawer because then they get broken. And then what I did is I took the burettes and I just put them on the side here. I attach them to the ring stands just to make it a little bit easier. This is the burette clamp that I've added. I do have funnels for the students. They're like small little baby funnels that I put those out. So that's all the lab prep I've really done up until this point. Oh, and of course I've gotten the chemicals. So I just have this out. Probably what I'll do a little bit later on today is I'll actually put this out in the lab area, and then that way I can kind of make sure that every station has what they need. But what I want to do right now is I want to show you how I make sure that students do not cross-contaminate the acid and the base, and show you some of the things that I label to make it a little bit easier so the students know what every piece of glassware is for. So you can see one of the things that I'm doing is I am writing out A and B for acid and base, and I'm just going to tape it onto the beaker. And the reason why I like to write it on tape is because I find that over the years, having students write A and B on the beakers, they don't erase in between, and rather than have the students like use pencil to do it, I'm just like, I'll pre-label it to make it a little bit easier. So right now I'm just pre-labeling all the beakers so that the students do not cross-contaminate the acid and base solutions. Just makes it a lot easier, and the students can then just like take the beaker and bring it to me in order to get their solutions, which I'll show you how they do that in a moment. I just need 2 more beakers. All right, well, believe it or not, I only have 2 minutes left in my prep period here, so I think I'm gonna stop this for right now, but I will be back probably during my lunch period, next class period, and I'll finish setting up the lab and give you all the details. I just finished making the solutions of acid and base for their titration. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the burette stands and put them on their different lab stations. I have to kind of load all the equipment that the students will need, and then I'll show you what equipment I'm including and how I'm organizing it for them. One of the things that I totally forgot about is that this class in particular is really large. So I have students sitting at the lab tables because I don't have enough seats in my classroom. So one of the things that I do to avoid issues with overcrowding is I use this center island for students to use as a lab station. And so now that kind of throws a little bit of a monkey wrench in my plans, because typically when I have smaller classes, I can kind of use this demo table as just a place for the students to come to get the solutions that they need. So for tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I need to think about like what I'm going to do instead. I think probably what I'm going to have to do is I'm not going to be able to have them walk through the lab and bring me their beakers. Instead, I'm probably just going to have to give out the acid and the base while they're working at their lab stations. So that's probably the best thing, just to avoid students walking through the lab, because it's such a large class. I can only imagine, students walking, bumping into each other with acid or base in their beakers. That's probably a bad idea. So yeah, so that kind of is a little bit of an unfortunate thing, but that's okay, because they'll still have a good time with the lab. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'll show you what the actual lab setup looks like and all the equipment that I put out and how I set it up for the kids tomorrow. For any titration lab that you're going to be doing with your students, this is pretty much the basic setup. Now, before you saw me labeling the acid and base beakers, so those are there now and out for them. This larger beaker is a waste beaker for the students to basically make sure they get any bubbles out of the jet tip from the burettes. Obviously, they have an Erlenmeyer flask back there. The 2 funnels are for the different burettes when they're loading their burettes. And then I've got a wash bottle, and then finally a white piece of paper to make it easier to see the color change. The other thing that I do, because the students are going to be working at their separate tables, so they work in teams of 4, I do have little dropper bottles of indicator that the students can use. I typically, anything that students have to share, I typically put it in between the individual lab stations. But for this set of students that will be working over here, I did create another bottle. So I have a total of 3 sinks around the perimeter, and then obviously I have this demo table. So instead I had to make a separate one just for them. So that is pretty much how I set up the lab. Everything is all set up for the students in the area. For the students that actually have this as a desk, what I have the students do here, because it could be a real safety hazard, is I have them take their belongings, like their book bags and stuff that they're walking to class with, and I have them put them actually over there on the windowsill so that there's no tripping hazards or any issues with that. And then their stools, they'll put right in the corner over there, because obviously that could be another hazard. They're not supposed to be sitting in lab. If you're a new teacher and you're setting up a lab for the very first time with your students, I would say one of the things that definitely help to ease my stress and anxiety as I'm doing a new activity is making sure that I set up the activity before I leave. That definitely makes sure that I have everything that I need out for the kids. And then also the other thing that has really helped me is doing the lab. Like, I literally mean like you as the teacher do the lab. If you're not familiar with the procedure, you've never done it before, you probably should do it, especially if you don't have really a background in chemistry. I know I have some biology teachers watching me that, were assigned to teach a chemistry class. Being able to complete the lab on your own and kind of looking at the technique and seeing like what things that maybe you struggle with, you can offer some advice for your students for how to handle things safely and effectively. You'll notice that one of the things that I try to do is have everything that the students could possibly need at their station. So my goal is to minimize students walking around the classroom because I don't want them bumping into each other and, spilling acid or base on each other. It's imperative that you think about like where your students are going to be moving through the room, if there's enough space for the students to occupy. You might even want to give directions about, like, for example, like if the students have to take the mass of something, you don't need to bring your whole team with you to measure the mass of something. There have been times when I've looked up and there's like, literally 10 kids crowding around a balance. It's like, why is that? You only need one person from your team to measure the mass. It's almost like they bring them over for moral support. I don't know. But that's definitely something that you want to consider, like what type of behaviors and what type of like patterns when you're engaging in lab do you want your students to follow? Like, what are your expectations? Talking about disposal, like what are the students supposed to do with the different materials and equipment? How could they help you clean up? I mean, stressing out about cleaning up is one thing that I definitely do, because when I have, 2 different levels that I'm teaching or even 3 different preps in the past, it's a lot to set up and break down in between classes. So I often think about like, what could I ask my students to do to help me out so that it makes it a little bit easier for me to clean up the lab. Now for this lab with titrations, what I have the students do is I usually have them rinse the burettes with some distilled water, run it into a waste beaker, and rinse anything down the drain. I don't usually have the students bother to wash and dry the equipment. Honestly, a lot of these things are just, incredibly soluble. So usually what they do is they just rinse it out with plenty of water, rinse it with some distilled water, and then they're good to go. All right, well, I think that's it for me. If you like this different style of video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're a new teacher, I hope you learned something. If you're a veteran teacher, I hope you learned something. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll be sure to check in with you guys next week.